Good afternoon, Sir Eagles fans. Welcome to another episode of Flock Talk, the weekly show where myself, Marton, and Charlie Black beside me here discuss what happened with the Eagles and stuff that happened around the BCHL. But before we get underway, Charlie, just want to make a mention that every Flock Talk episode for the rest of the season, this one included, is presented by Telus. So huge shout out to them for supporting the Sir Eagles through the remainder of the 2021 pod season. They've got some more stuff lined up as well. We'll wait to announce. But again, thank you to Telus for joining us. Great to have you on board and a part of the Surrey Eagles family. But Charlie, will now switch things over to the hockey side of things, and a great start for Surrey going 3-1 through their last 4 games.
You get wins out of all 3 goaltenders. It all starts with Hunter Tarvez getting his first BCHL win in his first Junior A game. It's a 5-4 victory over Powell River. The Eagles were a little bit spotty the rest of the way. You dropped the game on Thursday, but then when you get back into action on Saturday, Max Prasma gets his first win in pretty dramatic fashion, getting 8-1 goal support from the team in front of him, and then Tommy Scarfoni with the overtime win on the Sunday against Coquitlam means that all 3 goalies have now registered a win on the season, and that's a pretty good way to start things off.
Well, we'll go now into detail here with all 3 goalies getting the win. We go back to the beginning of the week, the 5-4 victory over Powell River. Hunter Tarvez was very strong in the first 2 periods. A little shaky there, but I mean, all things considered, nerves maybe played a part, and he was able to shut the door down and get the Eagles that win that game, buoyed by the fact that Teo Daddario had 2 goals in the contest, Holden Katzley a goal and an assist as well, helping the Eagles get the first win, improve to 2-1, and then Tommy Scarfoni, probably the only game that he wasn't a world beater, I'll say, in the 5-2 loss against the Express.
And that's going to happen.
It's going to happen. There's not much they can do about that. Buddy Johnson got the opening goal in that hockey game to give him the lead, and then the Eagles just weren't able to hang on. And then, the 8-1 victory where a bunch of Eagles got on the board, and they got on the board often. Holden Katzley, 2 goals and an assist. Jimmy Darby had a 3-assist night. Brett Bliss had a goal and 2 assists. It was just a great game for Surrey all over the place. They forced Powell River to change their goaltender to start the 3rd period, facing both Thomas Wardle and Jacob Drapeau there in the victory. And then Sunday happened, and one of the most interesting games I think I've ever called so far in my short career as a broadcaster, with a lacrosse goal coming from Ryan Tattle for Coquitlam. You had 49 saves for Dylan Kruss, which means the Eagles got 52 shots on net. Holden Katzley had a goal and an assist. Christian Fitzgerald a goal and an assist, Brett Bliss 2 assists, and then it was Michael Abro with the overtime winner.
Absolutely unreal to watch this team start taking off in such a big way. There's going to be bumps, there's going to be hurdles, especially when you're looking at the teams who we're facing off against getting stronger as they go. Powell River, we've talked about how they're a wild card. They're really settling in. Josh Kagan's leading the way for pod scoring right now. Adamo Santia, who had a big game last night, 2 goals against Coquitlam in the Monday night game. I'm getting my days mixed up now.
It's a lot of hockey in a short amount of time frame here for you. But it's Josh Kagan and the former Eagle Adamo Santia really putting in work. And that Powell River team, we talked about them being an X factor. I specifically remember saying that they could change the way that this pod looks, and they've done just that. Ben Brunette is a fantastic defenseman for the Kings, the UMass Lowell commit there. They've gotten pretty good goaltending from Thomas Wardle, and then that top line, which for a majority of the season, with Krogfoss having been out for a couple games, has been Ben Raymond, Josh Kagan, and Adamo Santia. Now they're spreading the wealth there, and it's good to see. It's good to see this challenge for Surrey with another team that has surprisingly shown very well so far in the pod season.
They have good depth scoring. You have Kagan and Santia at the top of things. You have Porchetta has been leading the way as well. Santia has been playing up and down the lineup wherever they need him. We talked about how last year with the Eagles, his offensive sheen kind of faded away a little bit, and he settled into more of a grinder type of role. We talked about how he could be seen as a leader on this team and what he could do, and you're seeing it all come to fruition. But it's not just Santia, it's not just Kagan. You got Porchetta, you got really good depth pieces in Brandon Toy and Owen Barrow, and they're contributing really nicely on the score sheet. Not only Ben Brunette, but his defense partner Sam Bellinger. It's been a revelation to watch these Powell River Kings. I think they're the most exciting opponent that you could ask for right now in any of the pods anywhere. I don't mean to pump the tires of our opponents too much, but This league is a pretty good hockey, and that's all I want.
And I think that was the whole point, is that when you looked at Surrey coming into this pod, for myself, there was a little bit of a worry is, will this be good competition for this Eagles team? Will they be challenged? Will there be adversity? And they have faced it, and they have proven up to the task, as we'll see what the Eagles have in store moving forward with the remainder of their pod season presented by Shaw. But they've done well so far. But with that, we're going to go into the player of the week, Charlie Black. And I said his name a couple of times. It's Holden Catzele, who had 8 points in 4 games, now leads the team in scoring with 9, 6 of those being goals. And I want to say that I'm not surprised, because the reality is that this is almost to be expected from Holden Catzele.
Coming back from the WHL, where things started to really click for him at the end of the season, or at least what became the end of the season last year, he brought that next level that he took his game to, and he brought it back to the junior A level, and especially when he's alongside guys like Brandon Santawana, Gabe Skovanik, Jimmy Darby. He is producing points, and it's no surprise to anyone, but it is a delight to watch. He is powering through teams like crap through a goose.
Well, so congratulations to Holden Catzele on his Player of the Week. And now, Charlie, I'm going to throw it over to you. What's been going on around the BCHL and the 4 other pods?
Let's start off in the Vernon pod, where things have gotten really, really close. It's very tight over there. All 3 teams, West Kelowna, Salmon Arm, Vernon, they're all rocking a 3-2-1 record. The goal differentials are incredibly close. Salmon Arm started off on Wednesday getting a point out of an overtime loss to Vernon, and they rattled off 3 wins after that point. Noah Serdachny in 03 has been leading the way for them in a pretty decent way. So Salmon Arm has clawed nicely into the conversation there as things tighten up in the Vernon pod. Speaking of which, James Porter Jr., Vernon's goaltender, locking in a commit to MacEwan University just a couple days ago, if I recall.
So congratulations to him. Take us, what's going on over in the Penticton pod with the V's, the Trail Smoke Eaters, and the Cranbrook Bucks?
It has been the V's by a country mile. Trail has rattled off a couple of wins against Cranbrook, but they cannot quite get past that loaded Penticton team where you're getting offense out of the usual suspects, Ryan McGuire, Jacob Quillen, Finn Williams. Goaltending has been stellar out of Caden Lane and Caleb McEachran. It's been, again, not to say it's any sort of surprise, because Penticton's always a wagon. But it is surprising to see that just Trail and Cranbrook cannot quite get past them right now.
Well, that's kind of the big thing, is can they find a way to really knock off the V's? I doubt they go perfect, but looking like a great opponent. And another pod that has a team at the top of the standings, the Chilliwack pod, the Chilliwack Chiefs right now, kind of the same sort of style, although Merritt was able to beat them at least once to kind of get themselves on the board. But other than that, Charlie, it's been Chilliwack and then Prince George and Merritt. Absolutely.
Any given Sunday, what we see in this league year in, year out is even the powerhouse teams can get beat at any moment. So I think things can get a bit closer, but this is absolutely Chilliwack's pod to run away with. Prince George is going to have something to say about that, but I think we still have more to see out of Merritt in particular.
All right. Finally here, Charlie, talk about what's going on over on Vancouver Island, the Island pod between the Nanaimo Clippers, Alberni Valley Bulldogs, Cowichan Valley Capitals, and the Victoria Grizzlies.
Well, the only 4-team pod in the league, and of course you have games every night, so there's always something to talk about. Right now, of course, the conversation is not just Victoria rattling off win after win, Ellis Rickwood pumping goal after goal, but now Alberni Valley has come on in a big way. BCHL Player of the Week this week, Stevie Castagna, still looking for his college commit. He had 4 goals against Victoria, and not to be lost in the conversation, Brandon Buer has been a big part of that offensive surge for Alberni as well. And as we talk about the Bulldogs, quick note as well, former Bulldog, former Surrey Eagle, Cage Sturzer, locking in a commit to NCAA Lindenwood University. We wish him all the best, and I wanted to give a quick shout out to our Eagles alumni going on to a program that's going to be Div 1 in a couple years.
All right, well, that's what's happening around the BCHL, and as far as what to talk about, that's really it for us here, Charlie. The next time you'll see us is next week when the Eagles, they'll play a couple games, and it all starts Wednesday, an 8 p.m. start time against the Coquitlam Express. You can catch that game live on BCHL TV, powered by Hockey TV, at Mixler.com/Eagles BCHL. Charlie, thank you so much for doing this on another Flock Talk presented by Telus, and I hope everybody tuning in has a great rest of their day.